Um, no, no, no. It's who you think it is? No, not Leo. Not with Leo. No, no, no. This is somebody else. This is. I met this guy back in March. He's Richard. Richard is my neighbor, my ex neighbor, the old guy I told you about. So Richard knows him, right? And so he gave me his number, and he gave him my number. And because he does Uber, right? He does Uber. That's why he gave me my number. Right? He was like, "Can I give him your number?" And that way, and I give you his number. That way, you guys can, maybe he can. Because I had not, it was my first time doing Uber last year. So he was like, maybe he can help you with anything you need, or blah blah blah. So we exchanged numbers. So I met him back in March or February. February. I met him in February for a little bit, just for a little bit. I had just gotten out from a therapy appointment, and he was doing lunch. He was doing Uber for lunch. And so we ended up meeting up at McDonald's just for a little bit. He's 50. He's not really my type. We're just going out, as friends. I'm not. I don't know if he's thinking we're going out as anything. He's divorced also. From what Richard told me, he's divorced. But he's been divorced for a while already, and he I don't think so. I think Richard was only telling, he told me, look, he does Uber, so if you have any questions, is it okay if I give him your number? And I was like, okay, sure. You know, that he asked me first. Yeah, he sounds interested. But he's white. He's supposedly German. But he's from here, I think. Like he has German lineage, but he's from here, I think. I don't know that much about him. We exchanged in the last time I texted him was damn. The last time we texted, I think, was back in March. Shoot, it was back in March. And then my phone broke. Oh, because my phone broke. And then I spoke to Richard yesterday, and he asked me, "What's going on?" I said, "No, I lost his number because I really did. My phone broke, and I lost his number." So he sounds interested. Bianca, let him sleep. He's sleeping. Don't wake him up. Um, Stop, Bianca. He's sleeping. He sounds interested, right? Because he asked me on March, the last time we were texting in March, he was asking me things about me, like, oh, what do you like to do for fun and this and that. And I was so yeah, yeah, yeah. He knows I went through a divorce and stuff. Leave him alone. I already told you he's sleeping. Let him be. He's awake. Because you woke him up. So he sounds like he's interested, because he started asking me things about me, and then he was like, "Oh, but you need some time to yourself," and blah blah. I was like, "I don't have. The only time I have to myself is when I wake up in the morning." Yeah, yeah, spider, spider. Yeah, exactly. Spider. Kill it. Well, let me read to you what he said to me today. I hold on. Let me read it to you. It's not gonna do anything. So he started with, oh, how it's not gonna do anything to you. It's all the way up on the ceiling. I don't reach. So he started asking me how I've been and blah blah blah. So I was like, I'm okay. Hope you're doing well. And then he was like, oh, school is closed tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, I know, but so he's like, it's gonna be a boring day, you know. And then he's like, how are things going with you? So I wrote, everything is alright. I said, can you use a knife to kill the spider? Bianca, stop. Huh? I met him once, but I was with the kids, you know. So I met him once back in February, right? And I was with the kids, and we had agreed on meeting up. I think it was like around 11:30 or something. And then he ended up writing to me. He's like, "Oh, do you think you can meet me? It, like 30 minutes earlier." He was like, "You think you can meet me now?" And I was like, "No." he's like, oh, because I just dropped off my daughter and I have time right now because then I'm gonna start working. I'm like, no, we agreed at a time, and because I have things to do, so I'll meet you at the time that we agreed on. You know, and then he was like, oh, okay. And like 5 minutes before meeting up, he was calling me to ask me if I was on my way. I didn't answer him, but he texted me. He's like, "Are you on your way?" And I was like, "The fuck is wrong with him?" Like I didn't like that about him. So then when I finally met him, I got out of the car because he approached. I stayed in my car. I had my doors locked and everything. And yeah, I think it could be. I think so. Could be, it could be, but I don't. He's so. Anyways, listen. I don't know. I don't think he's my type. But watch out, Bianca. So, when he approached the car, I stepped out, and he looks at me. He's like, "Oh, wow, you're small, just what I like." And I'm like, "The fuck?" I'm look. Yes, I'm looking at him. And I'm like, okay, hi. I said, you know, could be. And I said, okay, hi. And we were meeting. And then he was like really looking at me, like everything about me. And then he's like, oh, what is that on your head? I am on the phone. Put the cat down and get it yourself, Bianca. So then I stepped out of my car, and then he's looking inside my car, and he's like, oh, what is that on your pedals? It's like he's looking at my stuff, and I'm like, those are extensions that I put there. I said, and he's like, Bianca, I am on the phone. So, he's like, oh, okay. He's like, I get it. You don't reach the pedals. I said, no, I don't. That's why I put those extensions there. He's like, oh my god, that's so cute. And then he's looking at me, and he's like, oh, you're so short, you're so small, and you're so cute. And I'm like, okay. And so, anyways, we talked for a little bit, and he saw the kids, and I said, these are my kids, and yeah, Derek said hi and whatever, and we just, he was like, oh, it's nice to meet you and this and that. I was like, okay, yeah, nice to meet you too. He's tall. He's like, I think he's like 5'11", but he's overweight. Like I don't see myself in bed with him. I would like he would squish me really. I feel like he would squish me. You know,
Those are weapons for a bug.
I don't see the spider.
It's tiny.
It left. It it left. It went away, Bianca.
And I
Okay.
say,
Yes, you're safe. The kitty's not safe. You're gonna drop him. Sit over here, please. Hello,
I got a pouch.
Sheila. Bianca, put the kitty on the floor before you drop him. Uh huh.
Open.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Oh my god. He was literally he must have been like 20 the most. And every time we used to go to Home Depot or go anywhere, this guy, he would like he every time like I would see him and he was busy, and when he would notice that it was me, he would stop doing what the fuck he was doing, and he would just always go up to me and ask me, "Do you need help? Do you need anything?" And Edwin noticed it. The one on Boynton Beach. I don't know if he's still there. I don't, cause I haven't been there. I haven't been there in like so long, so I don't know if he's still there. But and I was like, I'm just gonna stay I was looking at the locks, right? It was the aisle, the lock, the lock aisle, right? The keys and all of that shit, right? So I was in that aisle and I was like, leave me alone. I said, leave me in this aisle. I'm fine. You go do what you gotta do. I'm not going back and forth to, walking back and forth. You go do, figure out what the hell you want, and then you come and you put it in the shopping cart. Leave the motherfucking shopping cart here. I was done with him. So here I am. He leaves me alone. Oh, so far none. I've been close. Damn. I swear I could have been a mobster. Maybe I was a mobster in a different life. I must have been a mobster in another lifetime. So Sheila, so I stay in the aisle with Bianca. Bianca was like 3, so she was in the shopping cart sitting, and Derek was with. I was about to answer him when Edwin came, right? And like they locked eyes, and Edwin keeps walking towards me, and I'm like, oh fuck, I hope he doesn't start this, like tries to make a scene, right? And so the guy looks at him, and then he looks at me, and then he acts like he's fixing a box, right? On the lock, on that side of the lock, right? He acts like he's fixing a box. And Edwin comes and he holds my hand. He's like, oh, Mira, I don't know. I think he's Puerto Rican. He's cute. Hmm. 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 Right. Hmm.